Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of Fearless Tarot, How to Give a Positive Reading in Any Situation, which is out now from Llewellyn Books. And if you like my positive approach to tarot, you're going to get the most out of your tarot deck with this book because I take you through every card and show you the way forward without fear or despair or doom or gloom. It is time for this week's Oracle reveal. So earlier today on Instagram, I placed up a photo of 3 different animals, and I asked you to use your intuition and ask yourself which animal is getting stuck in your head, because that animal has a message for you. And the animals were the horse, the bee, and the koi fish. So for those of you who picked horse spirit, it says freedom is yours. And indeed it is. You can be free at any time. Sometimes the horse is also a card or an animal of asking for assistance, asking for help when you need it to get carried to your destination. And if you're not asking a person for help, sometimes this is just a card of asking spirit for help, or even asking your own inner wisdom, your own spirit to help you at this time. It's time to push ahead. The first card is where it's best to place your focus this next week. If you pick the horse, I'm using the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot. I love this deck. The place where you should put your focus is the Four of Wands. And this is a card of celebration, fun, enjoyment, having a good time. Sometimes the Four of Wands is saying that the thing that's going to really help you make a breakthrough is resting your mind, interacting with people in a fun way, having a good conversation, or just reconnecting with those people that bring your energy up. The Four of Wands is also a card of celebration for rites of passage. So this could be an important time where you're not just blowing through the things you've accomplished, but you're really stopping to acknowledge those things. That's going to give you fuel and motivation to get even more done. Advice from your inner wisdom this next week, if you pick the horse, is the Four of Cups. Four of Cups is a similar thing with the horse energy. The Four of Cups shows the cup coming out of the cloud, offering you a gift. And sometimes you just might not be able to see that. The Four of Cups says that you're so focused on what's on your mind as far as what's going on in the past or what you're worried about is going to happen in the future. And so you may not be able to see all the blessings that are around you or all the opportunities for your breakthrough. You'll also notice that we have 2 4s this week, and 4 in numerology is the number of firm foundations. So this could be a time to really reestablish a habit or really start something from the ground up. It's time to not only accept the good things that are being offered to you right now and really recognize the thing that's right in front of your nose that's working for you, but it's also time to celebrate things. Sometimes with these 2 cards, it indicates that there's a feeling that you can't really enjoy things yet. That you have to achieve X, Y, or Z first, and then you can finally celebrate it, but not until then. And these cards are saying the celebration's in front of you right now. You can make a little moment right now where you're enjoying your life. You don't have to wait for an accomplishment or for something to hit you in the face that you finally arrived. These cards are saying it's time to also formulate better habits for yourself. And then finally, the mythic archetype that's going to help you if you picked horse is Clotho, the youngest of the 3 fates, the goddesses of destiny. Clotho spins the thread of your life. And when she comes up, she's really telling you you're in charge with what you're going to do with the span of your life. You're also the one who's spinning your life as we speak. All the things that you're deciding to do and put your focus into are going to create the future you're going to experience later. So make sure that you're using your time and infusing that thread with positive energy and not tension, stress, or the putting off of something good. Next, we got the bee spirit, and it says sweet results await, and bee gets busy and makes the honey. So this could be a time where you're really getting going with your project. This is also a time not to procrastinate, but instead to really focus on things consistently. So maybe every day setting aside a sacred hour where you're really working on that important thing that you're trying to accomplish. And the bee just says, if you do it, you're going to enjoy the rewards. If you participate in life, you win. When you sit and hope and wait and passively expect things that maybe come or maybe won't, you lose. So this card is saying get out there and do it. First card is where it's best to place your focus. If you pick the bee, and we get the star card, which is always a card of wisdom and transcendence. The star is coming to you today to tell you to look at things from a higher perspective. The star has distance. And so there's a sense that you can see everything in its proper perspective. The star is also a card that kind of reminds me of like a map. You know, you think of stars at night for sailors that are maps through the dark waters. This card is saying that you also have a map, but it's going to be accessed when you're able to get a higher perspective. If you're feeling mad or stressed or scared or stuck or small, the star is reminding you to take a deep breath, to take a step back, and to reconnect with what's limitless within you. And then finally, the star figure is replenishing that pond. This could be a time when you're really replenishing yourself as well by pouring your energy into those projects and into those things that really make your spirit soar. Advice from your inner wisdom is the moon card if you pick the B. So we got both night luminaries. And what this is telling me is that you might be going through the dark right now, but there are lights to guide your way. And the moon card is telling you that one of those lights is going to come in the form of your instincts, your intuition, your deeper inner knowing. The moon is telling you that there is a kind of an unconscious force that's kind of pulling you toward your next big goals, your next big things, your dreams. And the star is telling you that there's hope, that this will come to pass. The moon is also kind of a moody card, and if left unchecked, moods can kind of work against you sometimes. In Latin, the moon is luna, where we get our word lunatic from. So if you ignore your instincts, if you ignore your feelings, they can kind of revolt against you. And then suddenly you're feeling crazy or disconnected or spacey. And these cards are just telling you, do the spirit work. Do the work that's going to lead you on that pathway back to your authentic inner self. That is going to be where your breakthrough is. And then finally, we got the mythic archetype that is going to help you if you pick B. And we got Aries, the god of war. Sometimes he's someone who rushes through things. He's impatient. He also can get angry if things aren't happening quick enough. And so these cards in conjunction with one another are kind of telling me that there's this inner angst. It's like, oh, I want to accomplish this now. You might be stressing out, or if you're so focused on the battle at hand, you might be forgetting to breathe. You might be forgetting to take a step back. So Aries is all about reining in that energy and focusing it towards something that's constructive instead of self-destructive. And then finally, we have the koi fish, and it says there is always enough. And fish are symbols for luck and abundance, and also delving into the deepest part of yourself. The first card for koi fish is where it's best for you to place your focus this next week. And we got Judgment, the card of rebirth, renewal, resurrection. Whenever I see the Judgment card, I think of the phoenix that rises out of the ashes again to live anew. The angel on the Judgment card is blowing a trumpet, and all the dead are rising out of the graves. This is a symbol for the dead parts of yourself stirring back to life right now. You might start to feel like your old self again. You might start to feel like, you know what, there's magic in me still, and I really need to harness that. And it's time to add fuel to that, to encourage that part of yourself instead of stifling yourself or just kind of being like the Walking Dead going through life and slogging through it. Next, we have advice from your inner wisdom this next week if you pick the koi fish. And there we are, another major arcana, the Hermit card. Hermit is all about going within for your answers, seeking your way. The Hermit is going through the dark, and he just has that staff, that lantern in some decks, but the fire in front of him to reveal what's on his path and the way forward. And the Hermit teaches you that you don't need to have the whole path illuminated in order to proceed. Sometimes we're only given the next several feet in front of us that our own inner lantern is able to illuminate. But that's all you need, because if you can take those 3 steps, the next 3 steps illuminate, and then so on and so forth. So this is a time to really trust. And then finally, the mythic archetype that is going to help you if you pick koi fish is Cerberus, the guard of the underworld. The underworld is a scary place for a lot of us. We don't like to think of the underworld, but the underworld is where treasures are. The underworld is the shadow place where the greatest healing can take place for you. And when we see the symbols of resurrection with the Judgment card, and then the Hermit going into the dark places to confront the 3-headed dog, this could be a time to confront your own monsters and also to make peace with them and to retrieve any treasure that's left in the underworld. that is this week's Oracle. I do hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, you can always find me at elliotoracle.com. Otherwise, I hope you all have a safe and healthy week, and I